Hi, I'm Alex Archibald. I've been buying and selling antiques since I was a kid. Over the years, generations of our family have gotten involved in the business, and I'll search just about anywhere I can to find hidden treasures both big and small. I never know what I'll turn up next. It's about exploring new places, seeing new sights, and having fun. And even though sometimes I get over my head, we try and make things a little better along the way. This is Curiosity. Well, hi everybody, and welcome to today's episode. I was just out at a house, as I sometimes am, and this time it's not emptying a storage locker. I got called back to a property that I'd visited several years ago to possibly look at buying some antiques that were left behind from an estate. The mother had passed away, and the son decided it was time to sell some stuff. Now, I ended up buying a few boxes full of things. I know there's some coins there. I know there's some antiques. So we're going to get back home and dig through the stuff, and let's hopefully find a few treasures. So let's get back. We'll do an unboxing and hopefully find some great stuff on today's episode. Let's go. I've arrived back home, and this is the assortment of stuff that I bought today. So it's sort of a variety box of antiques. Anyway, we'll go through things bit by bit. There's a lot to show you. I'll actually start off down here at these two pictures. So what I looked for when I saw these at the house, they've obviously been framed in the last like 40 years or so. If you look really close, you can kind of see this indentation on the paper, and that's from a very early style of printing press that would have printed these. And then because they couldn't print in color at the time, these would have been watercolored or hand colored by an artist. But these plates, as it turns out, come from a book in 1824, Merrick's book of, basically it was a book about armory. So it was a study of the different types of armor. So we've got this one of the knight armed on the back of the horse, and also this plate of Sir John Cheney, and he's got his armor on and he's holding the flag, and his helmet's obviously come off. But remarkable things. They're not overly valuable. I mean, they made a lot of them, so they were fairly common at the time. But they are from 1824, and they are authentic plates, and they are hand colored. But you might be able to buy something like this for $100 or $200 framed like this. But I just thought they were so cool, I couldn't pass it up. And it is a piece of history. That whole book would have been really cool if you had the whole book that these came out of in its original form, and people would cut the pages out like they did here and sell them probably in bookstores and stuff to people. But really, really interesting pair of hand-colored, early printed pictures. So brought those back. And you probably noticed, since we're talking about pictures, there's also this original oil painting called the Three Graces. The Three Graces, there we go. And it says it's by P.E. Stratton. I've not looked that one up to learn much more about it, but I just thought it was kind of cute, and they look so sheepish and forlorn almost that I just thought it was a funny little picture. Melissa said that looks like it should be like above a pool table or something. It's not overly big, but it is kind of a neat piece. There's also this big ornate metal statue. We've got a proud soldier here, and it's signed. And if we turn it around, it's signed W-A-A-A-C-H, I think. And I believe that's perhaps German. I'll do a little research on that before too long, and we'll find out more about it. But this would have been probably from the 1800s as well. These sort of statues were popular in the mid-1800s, that sort of ancient revival. And I just thought it was such a cool piece that I didn't want to leave that behind. But let's start digging through the box of goodies that I've got in front of me here today. So a few old reference books, a book on watches, but the book itself is probably from, the 1970s or something. But the reason why there's a book on early watches is because there's two early watches. Well, at least one early watch. So we look inside this box, it says Warwick, the Red Gift. But we look at the watch that's in here, and we have a nice silver cased pocket watch. It's key wound, and the fact that it's key wound going to tell me that it's well before the 1890s, because after the 1890s, they went to a stem wound. So if you see the winder on the top there, like a traditional, more modern pocket watch, they're a little bit newer. This style, which has a pear case, and I'll open this all up, you can actually see that this is just an outer case and that the watch is inside. It has this beautiful sort of hand-painted dial, which almost looks Dutch, but it's got a sailing scene on it, these nice little gilt hands. And I don't know, we'll open it up and have a look and see if we can find a manufacturer's name inside of it. But the mechanism in these, this is probably going to be Fusee that has a chain mechanism, chain drive mechanism, very, very fussy things. And sometimes underneath this felt, if I can get that out, over the years, sometimes people would actually put the repair dates and their names in there. That's not the case here. That's just the pressing of the details on the back there, which looks like a woman and maybe a baby, maybe a hunting scene of some kind. Anyway, let's open this up and see what the inside looks like. So very carefully, I'm going to kind of show you. You open the top, there's a little lever right there, you flick that, and that will reveal the mechanism. And look at this beauty of a mechanism. Isn't that something? And there's your chain right there. So it is a chain drive. The chain wraps around those cogs on the bottom there. And we see, it looks like Wiltshire, London. So it's an English-made watch. Silver case with the outer pear case holder. Beautiful. This might date even to the 1700s or so. In fact, maybe I can find JN, which I think would be John Wilter. Maybe that's going to be in this book of early watches. If I'm lucky, I can research it with the book that I got too. Most surprisingly for a nearly 300-year-old watch is that when I gave it a wind, it started to work. It still works after all those years. 1700s watch, just wind it up and away it goes. Well, sadly, I wasn't able to find this exact watch in this book, nor was I able to find the exact watch on the internet, but I was able to find a listing for a Bonhams auction, and they had sold a watch by a John Wilter of London, and they dated it to 1780, which means that that probably puts this watch in the same range of the 1760 to 1785-ish kind of range. It's not a gold case watch, but it's silver, and that dial is phenomenal. So it is a late 18th century pocket watch. I thought maybe early 1800s, earlier than that, but yeah, this is late 1700s. Early piece of history there. But that's not the only watch I got. There was another one in here too. And this watch is a hunter style case. So a hunter case, what do they have? Chicago, Illinois, so it's American. Elgin 7 Jewel, 1888. So not a real high grade watch at 7 jewels. However, this is a gold case. And we can see it's got the stamps on the inside. There's your, it's actually ticking away. I gave a little bit of a wind and it's just ticking away all happy like. So we do have a little gold case watch. So being gold, it's gonna have a bit more value. Let's see if I can open this up and show you what the face looks like. There we go. Nice little Elgin pocket watch. Sub-seconds, nice clean dial. This cute little piece. So a couple good watches. Really love this 1700s watch. I really think that's cool. But in the box, there's other stuff like this. It's a Humpty Dumpty on his wall teapot. And I believe this is going to be English made. Just hold it. I don't want him to actually fall over and crack. England. There's no doubts where this is made. It's large and proudly made in England. So it's sort of a novelty teapot, an English teapot, but stuff like that always sells. There's people who collect teapot. Trust me, there's people who collect everything, but there's a lot of people who collect teapots. I even think that thing's cool. And I'm not a teapot collector, but I think that's neat. We've got a little nabob spoon. This would have been a coffee measuring spoon for nabob coffee. And yeah, there's people who collect the nabob spoons. We have, what on earth? It's a pipe. I don't know how this would work. It's a hoof of an animal that's been turned into a pipe end. I wonder if it's attached to this meerschaum pipe. Ludwig the First. That is an early meerschaum pipe, but I think one end or the other would have gone something like that. Pretty wild looking pipe. Europeans and their wacky stuff. Nothing like smoking out of the hoof of an animal. We have some silver spoons. A few little silver spoons in here. It's like another little coffee spoon, but it does have silver marks on it. That's good. Got this, which looks like maybe it's for sugar or spice, but it's a little container for tableside container. Maybe not terribly old. We have this really ornate looking inkwell. It still has some solidified ink inside of it. Nice brass inkwell. Fancy piece to have sitting on your desk. There's a little, I think it's a dual purpose shaker. Salt, maybe it's divided into two inside, salt and pepper, out of one side or the other. We've got Coco the Wise Monkey. And not only is he a wise monkey, but he's got time to join the Shriners, apparently. I thought that was just kind of a cute little copper lamp is what that is. And if you put a shade back on there, it'd be great to find a fez and use that as the shade. Wouldn't that be neat? I bet I could find one. Turn a fez into a lampshade. That would be a really neat lamp. Sometimes I look at these little things and I just think about what they could be or what you could do to make it that much cooler. But you don't see too many Coco the Wise lamps out there. This looks like it's a tin type. And that might almost be a Civil War soldier. Hard to say. It's of that era, 1800s. And it looks like it's got a little bit of damage. Maybe it's been burnt at one time or something. If I can find a way to get that out of the frame, maybe there's something on the back of it that'll tell me more of this gentleman's story. It's been touched a little bit. You can see they've added some rosy cheeks to him. But that is an early piece. But we don't know who he is. And neither did the people I bought it from. It's another old inkwell. That one's pewter. And it has a clump of solid ink in there. And it's been damaged at some point, but pewter could be quite old. This one, they say 1850 is what they have it down as. Could be about right. And I don't know what this was for. Maybe for attaching keys to or something, but I just thought that was the cutest thing. It's these little, I don't know if these would have been door pulls, like off of a cupboard at one point and somebody's put it on this. But you've got all these little pulls and the dog's heads. It's like the dog is holding the ring in its teeth. Just a sort of oddball thing I thought was cool. We've got these bookends. It looks like a girl getting water from a fountain. There's two of them. Got both. And those are solid bronze. Little porcelain statue of a lady with a bird and a bunny. Could be my wife Melissa out there feeding the birds and all the creatures in the neighborhood. A couple little tiny brass oil lanterns. And this would be the type that you would actually carry around your house, Ebenezer Scrooge style. Is that you, Jacob Marley? And see if you move your hand like this, it doesn't actually tip over. So you could walk up and down your stairs all over the place and the thing's gonna stay upright. This is meant to be toddled around your house. And likely you could have hung it on a hook or would have, yeah, see it has a little hook right where my finger is on the bottom. So you could hang it on the wall. And then if you wanna pick it up and carry it around, you'd pick it up and carry it around. Isn't that neat? And there's two of those in there. I thought that was so cool. And they still have their shades, thankfully. It'd be really easy to lose those shades. This box is kind of curious for a couple reasons. One is they don't know what's in it because this is apparently the key, but they couldn't get the key to work. So I'm gonna try fiddling with it. But if you look at it, it's engraved around the top. So let's come around to the top here. March 8th, 1858. It's initialed and it says presented by the Canterbury Hebrew Congregation. And what this should be is, it should be a writing desk, but they would have all sorts of compartments and contraptions and stuff in there. Let's see if we can't get this thing to open up. I've got the key, but something is not turning in there or is misaligned. So this might take a little bit of work, and I don't know. He couldn't get it open. He says he hasn't had it open in years. So we'll see if we can figure this out. Okay, so what I noticed is the lid was a little offset, so I kind of pulled it towards me tight and turned the key, and guess what? After years, the box is open. Let's have a look inside. Well, it's got this nice little writing surface. I don't know if the purple would be original to this box. Might have been refelted at some point. If not, it's in really good shape. So there should be, yeah, little latches here that you pull down. And then this lid should come up. There should be something underneath here, if I can get it to open. There we go. Nothing on the lower part, but that's where I'll lay this down. Your papers and stuff would go in here. There's your writing surface. Try to make sure I get that to close without binding. It feels like it's binding a little bit now that I've got it open. But then this should also be a surface. I see we've got to do a little repair here. This would be a lid. And, oh, there's another key, a little inkwell. But see how that's sort of moving? I think what we have under here is maybe another sort of compartment. So, how does this work? It looks like something to do with this latch might come undone. There's always little, well, not always, but this one has secret compartments. Let's see if I can get this to unlatch and open this up. It's just all stuck right now. Okay, so that pivoted out of the way. This comes out, and underneath we have this little container here, little box, and sort of these little secret hidden areas in here, which is pretty cool. Always neat when you find little, I don't know what you'd put in that box. Your good stuff, I guess. Stuff you didn't want to be found. But somebody obviously found it because it's not in there anymore. We'll reassemble this and see if we can get this key to open up this other lid here. Okay. I think these all would have been kind of concealed little drawers down here originally. It would have gone in there. That's a divider. So I'll have to get my wood glue out, do a little repair. But I think everything is here for this. And then that would have been sort of the covering, so you would have been able to conceal your stuff in there. Maybe your jewelry or valuables, but cool. Well, all of these were concealed, hidden little drawers. So we'll see if we can fix this up again so it works as it should, and get this back in its proper condition. But cool little traveling desk. Love that it has secret compartments. And I just think that's so neat. As it turns out, going back to this painting, The Three Graces by P.E. Stretton is a pretty well-known piece. You can see Philip E. Stretton signed there. This is, it is a painting. It is a painting on canvas. But very subtly, there's another signature there, Albert something or other, written right above Philip E. Stretton's name. And that's because this was a facsimile sold by Raphael Tuck and Sons, and it says oil facsimile on the back. So they did facsimile paintings, replica paintings of famous works, and they sold them as home decor and such. But this is a long time ago, well over 100 years ago. So even being a facsimile painting, had this been an original, you'd be looking at probably, I don't know, $20,000 or something crazy like that, because it's such a well-known piece. Being a facsimile, it's still worth maybe $400 or $500. because of its age and it's of the era, but still a neat piece, and one of those things that I'm sure will find a home. And as for the Roman soldier statue, this is an artist named Arthur Wagen, Waagen, I think. But it dates to the mid-1800s, so it is old, mid-1800s. It is sort of a zinc alloy and it has a bronze finish. It's substantial, it's big, does not have a marble base. It has this wood base with this sort of bronzed finish metal on top of it. Value of something like that is quite large. They range between maybe $400 to $800 depending upon where you go. So kind of a neat piece. But I think really out of everything that's here, my favorite item that I found today is still this 1700s pocket watch. I just think that's so beautiful and so cool. Just a nice variety of actual antiques today, from the really odd pipe with the foot, the meerschaum pipe with the hoof, to the monkey lamp and everything in between. I'm pretty pleased with the selection of stuff I got today, but I have to say I'm most pleased with this little pocket watch. So guys, a real fun assortment of things today. I forgot to mention that there was also this 1800s pewter pot, which I thought was cool. Melissa was trying to convince my son Steven that this was a chamber pot, and she said, sniff it. It's not a chamber pot. He didn't sniff it. But it is a cool piece, and it is pewter, and it is 1800s, and in decent shape too. But a really good selection of stuff today. So I'm pretty happy to be able to go through basements and find a variety of things like this. I'm gonna do a little work on the portable desk and get that put back together properly and make sure everything's working. And honestly, I like having little jobs like that to do. It keeps me busy. But guys, I'm gonna get things sorted, cleaned up, and eventually I'll do an antique auction of some kind and get rid of a bunch of this stuff. But for now, I've got some work cut out for me, as usual. Guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed these videos when I go out and pick and find interesting stuff. And keep digging through your attics and basements and drawers, and I hope you find some good treasures at home too. But as for me, guys, I'm back to work. As always, subscribe if you haven't done that. Make sure to like our videos, and bye for now. Bye, guys.